Hey you guys, my name is Betty Nicole and I would like to welcome you to my channel. Today I want to share my process with purchasing a pre-loved bag from Poshmark. This was my very first time actually purchasing a bag that had to be sent off for authentication. Actually, this was my first time actually purchasing a used bag from Poshmark, period. But I want to share my process with you guys and just let you know the bag that I got and how things went with it. So if you're interested, then stay tuned. First and foremost, I had been in the market for a crossbody. Last year sometime I did a video on how I wanted the Tory Burch Perry Bomb bag, and I did want that bag, but then when it came down to actually purchasing the bag, I realized the dimensions wouldn't work because Alexa, mute the volume. I realized that the dimensions wouldn't work because the bag was a lot smaller than what I needed. And so I began to think about, okay, getting a Guccimarmont bag. But my friend told me, a wise woman who has a ton of bags already, she told me that some bags is better to buy used because not only do you get a better deal, but bags lose their value and stuff. And so I knew I wanted to kind of get that. And when I was explaining it to one of my friends, she was like, maybe I should get the mini or whatever. And so I was looking into getting the mini, and then I was also thinking about the small, but thank God I ended up getting the small. Now I was very leery of you going about this process because, one, even though you know there are people in place that's gonna review the bag to make sure it's real before they send it to you, you still just know that people can be deceptive and people can do things and scheme especially as it relates to the bag and its authenticity. Y'all, so you know that people can do that. And I did a video previously on how God is just allowing me to just trust more in the process of things than just trying to live paranoid thinking everybody's out to get me. So nevertheless, I bought the bag, and the very next day the seller shipped the bag off to Poshmark. And I was preparing to go on vacation that Monday, so I was praying that within that week's time I would receive the bag. The bag did not come in the allotted time that I thought that it would, because once she sent it off to Poshmark, Poshmark then took a few days to actually verify everything before they sent it back to me. I was on vacation for 8 days. I think I bought the bag like 5 days prior, so it was about a 2-week process. When I made it back in town, it was like close to midnight. Here I am. I'm going to post the link here of me actually unboxing the bag. But when I got the bag, there was still this thought in my mind, like, okay, what if it's not real? Like, what if they get over, like, yada yada yada. So I had already planned in my mind that I was gonna take it to the Gucci store just to compare and contrast and see what they thought. And so the very next day I did do that. I took it to the Gucci store and just went through their whole process, whatever. That's not something that they typically do. So let me tell y'all, they told me that's not something that they do. They do not, have you bring in your bag to see if it's real or if it's not. He just did it for me that time because the store was empty. So that was that on that. If someone was to ask me, do I trust that process, right? I don't know. I don't know that I do. And I say that only because, for one, like I said, without living in paranoia, just know some people are deceptive, and they really are, and they're not honest sellers. And just not knowing who the people are, who's actually reviewing the bag, kind of just put you in a weird space. And it's not that you want to think the worst, but it's almost as if you still want to do your due diligence to make sure that you learn and know about the bag, understand the stitching and stuff, so that you are not duped, because that's one thing you don't want to do. If you're gonna pay a certain amount of money for a fake bag, you definitely don't want to spend over $500 on something that's not real, right? So I do not vouch for inauthentic bags anyway, and that's not me being bougie or me just thinking I'm better than anyone. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. I just believe that we ought to do everything right and have the real thing, the real faith, real items, real everything. I just believe that. And if I was Louis Vuitton, or if I was like a mainstream vendor, I wouldn't want anyone replicating my bag and then selling it for a lot less than what I deemed it to be worth. Does that make sense? So that's kind of why I'm against it. It has nothing to do with who can afford what and what's better and what's best. I just think that individuals are creative enough, and if you want a certain bag, then I think you should probably create one that's not mimicking someone else's, because I just don't like deception, y'all. That's just a whole nother video. But anyway, when I got, let me show y'all the bag. So here's the bag. I got the small size in Dusty Rose, and here it is. The handles and stuff are good. This bag pretty much looks brand spanking new. The interior of it is really good. Tag, all of that stuff is just good. And I'm really glad that I decided to go this route, because I saved a whole lot of money. But as I said before, if you are one who don't, I lost a lot of sleep off of it too, because not only did I take it to Gucci store, I also paid to have it authenticated again through a site called Real Authentication. It was only $30 and then $10 to actually receive the certificate. So I did all that as well. My sister was like, that's just way too much, but I did it just to protect myself. So that's my experience with Poshmark. As I said before, would I purchase on there again? I'm not sure. And the only reason I say that is because there's a certain level of peace that comes with when you know who you're getting something from. And because I really didn't have that or know the young lady, it just kind of added a few more steps in there that I would have preferred not to take. But nevertheless, I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I was able to get the bag, and prayerfully I'll wear it for a long time now. So if you have any questions on the process of Poshmark and how they go about doing things, then definitely leave comments below. I am looking forward to just doing more unboxings and just showing you guys more items outside of like my faith, because y'all know I love Jesus, but I also love other things as well. And thank you guys so much for tuning in, and you guys be encouraged.